Alright, hello everyone. I'm making a video on the new update to the Escapists Reincarcerated. So, I haven't made one of these videos in a couple months, as you can see here. This is the Discord server for the game, by the way, which will be in the description. But, yeah, the last video made about this was in September, and now it is almost Thanksgiving, so it's been quite a long time, and there are reasons for that, but basically I kind of forced myself to push a new build of the game out today. I gave myself the whole week to really try to lock in and fix any bugs and add some nice things and whatever, because I haven't really worked on this for the past month. So yeah, anyways, yeah, so I guess let's just get into it. I've talked about most of what I already have here, so I guess I'll just talk about that stuff again. I don't really know. This is obviously unscripted, as all of these are, so yeah. So getting into the game here, usually I start in the editor, but we won't do that this time. So new version number 0.1.0. I figured I should make it this instead of 0.0.8, because now we have the map editor, so I feel like this really pushes the game into that territory, right? And so I thought it was cool. I don't really know what the difference is here. Anyways, whatever. There's no new options. I didn't really know what to put here. So there's no new options, sadly. So patch notes. Oh, that's already found one. Forgot to make this long enough to fit, but I mean it's fine. But yeah, so there's a lot that's been added here. There's a lot of, I guess I'll just go through it. So we added the map editor. Obviously, we added the map editor, or I added the map editor. And the map editor is definitely the most undercooked of the features shown here. It has a lot of bugs, probably, well no, I know it does. Well, it has a lot of bugs that just, the bugs in the map editor are just things that aren't implemented yet, which could come off as bugs. Basically, it's usable, but it's like pretty terrible. It'll be a lot better in the next update. I think I'm gonna focus on the map editor next. But anyways, so yeah, I've talked about the map editor in previous videos. If you want to look at that stuff, just watch the previous one. And yeah, so next is the exercise equipment. I think I also talked about this. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, I did. Stats and exercising, yeah. So I've talked about the exercise equipment before. So yeah, exercise equipment, there's not really much else to say. The player ID menu, I'm not sure if this was in 0.7. I think it was, but it was just extremely broken and just didn't work. I wanted to finish that for that update, but I just didn't. And now it is finished for this one though, so yeah, it's there. The ID menu, you can change your outfit, change your weapon, view your stats, which those work. You can see your stats. There's no number associated with the stats, but the bar is there, so you can see it that way. The dynamic map loading, so that's basically just like there's no hard-coded map stuff at all, besides one object, which is the dev desk, just for this update. I don't know what I'm going to do about that in later updates, but for now, that's hard-coded. But everything else is not. So, dynamic amount of prisoners, properties of the prisons, I mean, it had to have been done. I mean, this was the biggest thing, the dynamic map loading, right? Because I mean, it's so important, and I knew I had to do it at some point over this project, but I was scared to do it, but I've done it, and so it's cool. Yeah. Currently, there's only one map that comes with this version, which is the test prison, which is literally just a port of my test prison for the original game. So, yeah. Basically, currently, the game doesn't have support for every object from the Escapists. Only most of them, I would say. So if the object isn't supported yet, it's just not going to get loaded, and so that's just how it works. Moving on, I mean, this is pretty self-explanatory. Sitting and sleeping, so I call these sittables in the code. Pretty obvious, again, there wasn't sitting and sleeping in the last one, now there is, and they do affect the rate at which your energy goes down. Player vitals, so this is like energy, money, heat, health. I didn't really know what to call them besides stats, but stats was already used, so I just called them vitals. Yeah, they are there, and they all technically work. There's no way to raise your heat, and there's no way to like lose or raise your money. And there's also no way to lose your health. However, the game is always trying to increase or decrease those numbers accordingly. Obviously, it doesn't, because it's all set to their default values. So the only thing that you can actually see that changes is money, or not money, energy. And so, yeah, but technically all of them are already all implemented. There's just no way to lower or change those values. Player stats, you can, raise your stats with the exercise equipment, and with browsing. So browsing is just using the computer. There's no bookshelves yet. I don't know why I didn't add bookshelves, but I didn't. They serve the same purpose as the computer, so it's just literally the easiest thing to implement. I just haven't put it in yet. Probably gonna be in the next update. I don't know. I don't even know what the next update would be. But anyways, yeah. So browsing is in. Test prison, like I said, is in, and yeah, we removed center perks. Yeah, it's so cool. We have removed center perks after having it in the game since 0.0.0.1, which I think is kind of cool. Removed NPCs, so that's kind of a big thing. There are just no NPCs in the game anymore. The reason for this is because I just haven't put their functionality in. I don't know how I'm going to do their AI movement anymore because of the dynamicness of maps now. So in Unity, there's this thing called baking, and certain AI movement packages have baking with them, where basically you set the parameters in which NPCs are able to you set what things NPCs are not allowed to walk on and what they are allowed to walk on, and then you bake that. So basically it just sets it all, and you don't do that while the game's running, you do that in the editor. So it's just all preloaded, and it's just able to go whenever when playing the game, which is really nice because it doesn't make it have to do all that work while in game. But now I don't know what the NPCs will be able to walk on and what will not be able to walk on, because I don't know what people are, I don't know, because it's all dynamic. I don't know what it's gonna be, right? So I can't just bake it before doing it. So that's why the NPCs are not in the game. I'm still thinking of a solution for that. Maybe you can just bake it in the code. I don't know. I'll have to look into that stuff. I'm actually kind of worried about that, but I'm sure it's possible. Yeah, it's got to be possible, but you know, we'll see. Added force loading. I think I've talked about this in another version, not a version, but a video. So let me think. Yeah, I think I've talked about this in another video. Basically, I redid a lot of the way that the game loads now. So at the start of, every time that you open the game loads everything. It decompiles the Escapists. It dumps all the GIF files and the music files, and it just dumps everything into this game. And it's thousands and thousands of assets, and it's a big thing. Now, the way I used to load these in was very, very strict, and a lot of machines just did not do it the way that I coded it, or just didn't do it. It was very fragile way of loading things, and when one thing didn't work, it all fell apart. You couldn't move past the loading screen at all unless if everything was loaded in. Now, you can actually move past the loading screen even if you don't have anything to load. Now, that definitely causes issues, and that's, intentional. If you load the game without anything, then it's obviously going to cause some issues. But it's just really more so there for people who are having trouble loading the game, and if there's any any hiccups while loading, then you can just force the load to finish, and yeah, it'll just do that. Excuse me. Yeah, force loading is a thing. And these final two things right here are things that I've added very recently, which is the initial map loading things, right? So in the original game, whenever you would load up a prison to play it, you would automatically spawn in your bed, and you would automatically have an outfit, right? These two things are now added, and it's, it wasn't, I actually, no. When adding this, I had to change a lot about how sleeping and outfits worked. A lot of these things work together a lot, which is why you have the random, oh yeah, the player ID menu is here now. That's just because I needed the outfits to be completely done. Without the ID menu, they weren't done, right? So these all needed to happen to work with each other. And of course, squashed bugs. There were so many bugs. That's the majority of the things that I worked on. After making the map loading dynamic, there were so many bugs. Sorry for that. There were so many bugs, and it was just terrible. But they should all now be fixed, right? Probably not, but that's why it's not fully released yet, because I know there's gonna be bugs people are gonna find, and that's fine. That's how it's supposed to be. So yeah, so that's the patch notes. I really do not want to go in the map editor. I haven't opened the map editor since September, so I'm just not gonna look at it, and hopefully it'll work when you guys play this. I don't know, man. So yeah, first off here, test prison. This was dynamically loaded in, right? So if there's no map in the files, then nothing appears here. But yeah, I have the test prison map file in the game, and then it appears here. There's a question mark here because I didn't set the map icon to anything. Yes, these are editable, right? Completely customizable. which I think is really cool. So, yeah. So, just got naming whatever, and here we have the dynamic NPCs. This was a bug that was broken with the dynamic stuff. Now it's all fixed and it's all great. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned this in another video, but I fixed all these buttons so that now they're actual buttons. They used to not be real buttons. Like, by buttons, I mean, like, Unity has a button, what is it? A button, how do I not know the name of this? Component. They don't, Unity has a button component. And I didn't know that, and so I just made my own, like, button thing. It was terrible, it was buggy, and it just wasn't good. So now this exists, and it's real buttons, and it's great. It's a lot better than it was. Yeah, you can, you know, whatever, set this, and now this guy's named gibberish. You can make him tango or whatever, you know what I mean? So, and then you just randomize them. Basic stuff, right? So starting the game, already something's different here. There's an actual, like, technically a loading screen. Right there, see the black bars going out, right? So that's, you know, that's how it was in the original game. You can see I'm in my bed and the energy is going down by 2 every second. So that's, you know, because I'm in the bed. And another thing that I forgot to mention in the patch notes is that now there's lighting. I don't know what I should call it. I mean, it's not really lighting. It's like global lighting. I mean, that's what it is. It's global light. But basically now you have light that corresponds to what time of day it is, which I think is really cool. So yeah, here's the dev desk. It has all the things in it. And go up the ladder. Now I'm on the roof. I don't think I'm supposed to be on the roof, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah, this is exactly how it is in oh, that's cool. These are all just okay, yeah. Well, that's something. This is how it's supposed to be, right? That's normal. Because that's just how it is in my test prison. I was testing ladders off screen and how they work in the game and stuff, but I mean, it's just how it is. You have a random ladder here. Okay, yeah, and I can fall off the roof. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. I can, you know, what is it? I can cut these fences here. Yeah, I mean, this is stuff that's been in the game since, like, a long time, but, you know, I'm just showing it to show that, you know, it works and it's cool. Oh, okay. Why are my cutters over here? That's interesting. Isn't that where I fell off the roof? Right? Okay, I can drop stuff up here normally. No, what is this? What tile is this? Is there something, like, special about this tile? What? This is weird. Okay, well, I have not tested dropping items. I did not think that would be changed. That's in the right thing. Hold on. Let's look at the ground tiles. Yeah, that's not gonna help me. Yeah, you know, I mean, maybe it's a feature. You know, maybe it's a feature. What if I drop it all the way over here? It just always drops in this place. That is really interesting. Why is that? I mean, I guess. I guess. Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we have. Oh, that's cool. As we can see, energy, whatever. I don't know what the bar's doing down there. That's kind of funny. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's doing this. This is definitely interesting. Definitely interesting. Should not be doing that. I mean, at least it's dropping, right? And it has the right percentage. Well, I'm not gonna. So if I drop a 4, yeah, it drops here too. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Well, anyways, yeah, with the internet, you can read ladders, these things, desks. You can climb on them, pick them up. Oh, this is something new. You can walk across multiple desks now. You weren't able to do that in the past. So there's that. Go a long way off the desk. That's not good. Whatever. Right, I guess this stuff is here now too because of, yeah. I can, yeah, it only checks for tiles, not objects. Which I think is funny. Just pushes you out of the object. Need to fix that. Because I only have it checking for tiles around it, not the objects. Let's see, sit down. Yeah, I think it's because these aren't like tied to an inmate because inmates just don't exist, so it doesn't know what to do for the tooltip. That makes sense. Yeah, you can go pretty far off the desk. I mean, it's not like a terrible thing, but I guess. Yeah, you can do that. You can walk in the void. You know, I mean, there a lot of stuff. You know what I haven't checked? Hold on, let me see this. I have not checked this stuff. I'm really scared. Oh, yeah. Because that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. Let's just not try to. Oh, yeah. You know, I think this is working properly. So we're just going to 0, 0. Oh yeah, I forgot to disable that as well. That's interesting. I mean, at least it's working. Obviously, I fell off the roof when I was done. Just doesn't know where to go. I think it's because... Wait, can I just do this anywhere? No. Yeah. It just... I guess, bro. I guess. Yeah, I mean... At least it's, like, technically working. I'm falling off the roof properly. Let me try. Yeah, I mean, I didn't try that. Yeah, now the sheet rip is at 50 and the... Oh, yeah. Okay, so... What are we doing? Well, the percentages are still working. I mean, it's technically it's working. You know what I mean. Like, here's the menu, whatever. But can I just? Yeah. That's cool. That's really cool. Oh, and my sheet rope broke. Yeah. Okay, well, that is something that will have to be fixed. Interesting. Alright. Well, honestly, that's it. I don't really have much else to show here. But yeah, beds, you can sleep in them and stuff. I will have the link to the GitHub in the description for all of you guys to play. And, yeah, cutting this one shorter than the other ones. But yeah, I'm excited for the the next update, you know what I mean? I don't know what it's gonna be, but it'll be something. So, I will see you all later.